أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Alhamdulillah, we're honored to host a celebration on the birth anniversary of Imam al-Husain alayhi salatu wassalam and Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam and Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam. So for now we inshallah start our program with the recitation of Quran by Hassan Habib Arman. He's here, alhamdulillah, we're honored to have him. If you could please, Bismillah, recite.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب
ومن شر حاسد
إذا حسد.
أحسنتم. صدق الله العلي.
I haven't finished all of them.
Bismillah.
There's still one more.
Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين صدق الله علي الدين.
أحسنت. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أحسنتم. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلوات الله عليه وسلامه عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله في العالمين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Congratulations to all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, on the birth anniversary of Imam al-Husain, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam, and also Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us that we can be guided, we can follow the path of pious, those people they follow the righteous path side by side with our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the very fundamental belief that we always have been warned and reminded by Quran and also the sayings of Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam is the perception of believers about this world and the nature of this world. A lot of misunderstanding we have around this concept, this dunya, and sometimes we tend to just even not think about this dunya and what is our understanding about this dunya and our priorities in this world. And this very misunderstanding brings a lot of problems in our life, and a lot of concerns that we have throughout our life will obviously go back to the very fundamental belief that we have about this dunya and the nature of this world. For example, take an example like someone who is set his first priority only gaining things and whatever he can get from this world, and as he goes and continues to reach his goals and desires that he already set up and planned, after each one of these steps that he's taking on, he understands that how empty this world is. After one reaching one of his goals, after a few months, he feels that it's not enough anymore. For example, someone want to buy a very big and huge and large house, very beautiful and expensive. While he's running to reach that goal, obviously he will face a lot of calamities, a lot of challenges to reach his goals. And once he reached that goal, after a few months living in that house, he will understand that he needs more. This house is not new anymore for him. It's not enough for him anymore. And you can go on and on. You can give thousands and thousands of examples in our daily life. Jobs, fortunes, any amount of wealth that we want to achieve, after a few months or few years, that goal which we already have achieved become boring for us. And that's basically one of the nature of this world. The nature of this world is fani. It will be disappeared. The joy of this world is not going to last long. So tonight we're going to dig in to this concept that we have throughout the Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this world. I'm not here to reject all the goodness that this world can bring us. I'm not here to give a lot of credit also to this world. We're going to find out what is the position of Quran here and what is the position of the Ahlul Bayt, the Prophet, and especially about Imam al-Husain alayhi salatu wasalam. What is his position? Why we have this much stress and emphasize in this concept, the concept of this world in our narrations. Why is that sometimes Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam is warning us about getting attached to this world? So we're going to start with the narration of Imam al-Husain alayhi salatu wasalam. We're on his birth anniversary, and the Imam, our beloved Imam al-Husain alayhi salatu wasalam, is always bring us more clarity into the different subjects that we're facing in this world. Ibadallah, ittaqullah wa kunu min ad-dunya ala hadar. O servant of God, Imam said, ittaqullah, have taqwa, be cautious about God. Wa kunu min ad-dunya ala hadar, and be cautious and avoid from this world. فإن الدنيا لو بقيت لأحد أو بقي عليها أحد كانت الأنبياء أحق بالبقاء. If this dunya, if this world was supposed to last long for someone, those people would be for sure anbiya, those prophets. Those people, they deserve to be forever in this world. Even for them, it didn't happen. They all passed away. They all became martyr, and they leave this world to the hereafter. وَأَوْلَى بِالرَّضِي وَأَرْضِي بِالْقَضَاءِ. And if this dunya and this world was supposed to bring pleasure, ultimate pleasure, the best was Anbiya, the prophets, but even for them, they faced calamities, even though they were the best of people in their time. Our Prophet, take the example of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the best of creation. He was the closest and the nearest servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Allah. But again, he had a lot of calamities. He had a lot of difficulties in his life. And also all the prophets that were reading the story of different prophets in Quran, we can see the pattern of calamities in their life in this dunya. غير أن الله تعالى خلق الدنيا للبلاء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create this world unless for the purpose of examples and tests for his servant. And bala here means challenges, obviously. And it's part of our life. We're being tested by different tests and calamities and difficulties. And imagine if there's no difficulty, so how we can understand and distinguish between a good servant and a bad servant? If everything is good and everything is nice and beautiful and happy, so everyone, of course, would be so happy, so calm, and so patient. But once the difficulty hit a life of a servant, that time is where a good servant will show himself and show patience and show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخَلَقَ أَهْلَهَا لِلْفَنَاءِ. And indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this world to be demolished, to be destroyed, to be a world, a creation, which is a temporary creation. فَجَدِيدُهَا بَالٍ. Anything that is new about this world, when you buy something, it's not going to be new forever. It's going to be a boring thing that once you got it, once it was the first time you bought it, it was so new and fresh for you. But it's not going to be the same forever. It's going to be a boring as other thing that we have and we don't care about it, things that we have in this world. وَنَعِيمُهَا مُضْمَحِلٌ. Things that are joyful, it's not going to last long, that joy. That joy is going to be gone after few months, few days. وَسُرُورُهَا مُكَفَّهِّرٌ. And its joy, it's going to replace with something that it's severe. And in Surah Al-Inshirah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna ma'al usri yusra, right? And we, most of us, we memorize those surah, and especially that ayah. There's always difficulties. But the fact is, after difficulties, you always will feel and experience ease. And after ease, you experience difficulties. And most of us, we don't recite right after that ayah. And this is ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to his messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh Muhammad, this difficult time is not going to last long. This difficult time will be replaced with ease time, with happy time. But فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. When you finish with something, when you finish with a situation that it was difficult for you, it was a plan, and it was a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you achieve, right? For example, we graduate, right? And most of people, when we graduate, we think that our job is done. Now I have to rest, and for a month, for days, maybe for some people for years, they don't even read, they don't study, they don't practice, they don't work, and they're waiting for something new happen, right? But here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding his prophet that when you finish with something, quickly set up another thing, another task for yourself. Because this dunya is a place of test. And those servants that they were smart enough to take tests as much as they can with the best result that they can get, obviously in the hereafter, they can achieve things that they couldn't even imagine, right? وَخَلَقَ أَهْلَهَا لِلْفَنَاءِ فَجَدِيدُهَا وَالْمَنْزِلُ بُلْغَةٌ. And when you stay in this world, it's going to be short, this world. وَالدَّارُ قَلْعَةٌ فَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. Here, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is advising us, inviting us that take as much as you can. فَتَزَوَّدُوا, increase your deeds. فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى, because the best of thing is taqwa. Throughout the life that we're having in this world, our daily life, good servant, what they do is they try to get involved with good things. If something good happening in their community, they want to get involved. If something good happening in their community, in their society, in their school, in their work, in their masjid, in their center, in their family, they trying to put their name into that cause. One of the scholar, his advice always was for his student was, whenever something good is happening around you, you try to put your name on it, even though maybe you're not that important in that cause, maybe, right? In that team, maybe, you know, you're not that much benefit to that team, but it's a good thing, right? Because this world is our chance, try to put your name in those good causes. Because you don't know, he concluded, that which actions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept it from you. So because you're not sure, you're not certain about what actions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it from you, you try to put your name on different causes, different actions. That he, with the teaching obviously of Quran, is saying that this world is not your first priority. This world is a place to get the benefit of this world. Recite the salawat, please. Sorry, we had a disconnection for a few minutes. So as we were discussing about the concept of this dunya, let's move on and see the Quran, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which always, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is refreshing for us, for all of us. In Surah Al Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the Muslim ummah, Muslim nation in Medina. When the Prophet ﷺ was among them and they could get benefit from his teaching, his guidance, sometimes they would take granted this prophet, this messenger of God. Sometimes they would think that this messenger of God wouldn't leave them without any prophet, any messenger. So that time, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing in ayah 144, Surah Al Imran, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This prophet, O nation, Allah said, indeed, we had different prophets before him. فَإِنْ مَاتْ أَوْ قُتِلَ انْقَلَبْتُمْ. And this prophet, like other prophets, will be died or will be martyred. And if this prophet abandoned you and travel or start his journey to the hereafter, فَإِنْ انْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِكُمْ, would you go back to your past while you were ignorant? وَمَنْ يَنْقَلِبْ عَلَىٰ عَقِبَيْهِ. And if you do that, فَلَنْ يَضُرَّ اللَّهَ شَيْئًا. You don't do any harm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This misguidance that you will follow after the death or the shahada, the martyrdom of Prophet, will not have any effect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسَيَجْزِي اللَّهُ الشَّاكِرِينَ. And indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reward those people that they're grateful about this world and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَمَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تَمُودَ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ كِتَابًا مُؤَجَّلًا. And indeed, Allah knows when to take life of others, of people, the death, right? وَمَنْ يُرِدْ ثَوَابَ الدُّنْيَا نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. And this is our discussion. وَمَنْ يُرِدْ ثَوَابَ الدُّنْيَا نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. And if someone desired this world, Allah would give them. You know, a lot of time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answering most of our question throughout the ayats of Quran. You know, sometimes we say, why is some people, they're so successful about this in their life, in this world, while they don't even believe, while they don't follow any righteous path? Why is that they're so successful in their life in this world? First, this question comes from a misconception about this world. Sometimes we think that whoever is rich or achieves certain level of success in this life, we call them successful, right? Which it's not true, right? It's not a good way to understand the nature of this world. Because this world, this dunya, as Quran is stating, is a chance, is a bridge for us to connect us, to take us to the hereafter. So it doesn't mean if I achieve certain level of material success in this life, I cannot call my life as a successful life. So if someone desired this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give them this world. وَمَنْ يُرِيدُ ثَوَابَ الْآخِرَةِ نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. And if someone desire the reward of the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed will give them. وَسَنَجْزِي الشَّاكِرِينَ. And Allah indeed will reward those people that are grateful. And he continues with the story of those people that they fought with the different prophets, and they became martyr in the side by side of different prophets. And sometimes even those good people, those godly people, they felt weak and they felt disappointed because of the different calamities that they used to face. And then he concludes the next ayah, Wallahu yuhibbu as-sabirin. Face difficulties and challenge and hardship and pain, but patience is a key for believers. Wallahu yuhibbu as-sabirin. And it's a mean for us to achieve the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with patience. وَمَا كَانَ قَوْلُهُمْ إِلَّا أَنْ قَالُوا. And those godly people that they used to be with prophets side by side with different prophets, when they felt difficulties, they used to call their Lord, اغفر لنا ذنوبنا, اغفر لنا ذنوبنا, forgive our sins. وإسرافنا, and we did injustice to our nafs, so forgive us. وثبت أقدامنا, and make our feet firm on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين, and bring us victory. So the nature of this world and the way we have to perceive the nature of this world is a crucial thing for us, especially time like this, that we understand how weak we are. Those people that they were thinking with, you know, the power of machine, the power of technology, the power of weapon, they can get whatever they can and they want, but with a very, very, very small thing called virus, everything now is shut down, right? And it seems for now that all the sciences that we know is not going to work anymore for that virus. And inshallah, of course, for any illness, there is a dawa, there is cure, as Imam alayhi salatu wasalam stated. And this is a time for us to reflect, because we have time, we see the everything is changing so rapidly, so we can reflect on ourselves and how weak we are, and then communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as I don't feel weak before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as long as I don't trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as long as I think that I can do things, I cannot feel that joy that Imam alayhi salatu wasalam used to enjoy from the du'as that they narrated to us. I think we have talked about the Munajat Sha'baniyah. It's very recommended to be recited in the month of Sha'ban. Very beautiful dua by Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. So throughout those dua Kumail, dua Arafah, and different du'as, we understand that Ma'asumin alayhi salatu wassalam is trying to teach us a new way to look at our strength, to look at our life, and also to Allah. Another story in Quran, in Surah Al-Qasas, there is a very beautiful story. I very strongly recommend you to go through the ayats of Surah Al-Qasas, especially after verse number 76, Surah Al-Qasas. It's the story of Qarun. Qarun was someone who was from Bani Israel, was from the nation of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And he was a man who wasn't wealthy at the beginning. When Musa alayhi salatu wasalam started preaching, and they separated themselves, Bani Israel, from Fir'aun and his nation. And different calamities, different natural disasters used to hit the side of Fir'aun, but the side of Bani Israel, Allah used to protect them. If it's a flood, it's any natural disaster used to hit in that region, but only the side of Bani Israel and their field and their land wouldn't be hidden, right? And it was safe, that side of the region. So Qarun took advantage from this situation. And he used to work on land and see what kind of things the Pharaoh side is lacking. So he used to plan in advance, and then he became rich. And he obviously was a businessman, and he could take advantage from that situation, and he became so rich, right? And we know the story of Qarun. But I'm going to point out some certain thing from the life of Qarun, and the way he used to see his wealth, and the way some people used to see his life and his wealth. In Qarun kana min qawmi Musa. Indeed, Qarun was one of the nation of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. فَبَغَى عَلَيْهِمْ. But he betrayed the nation of Musa. وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْكُنُوزِ. And we bestowed treasures to Qarun. مَا إِن مَفَاتِحَهُ لِتَنُوا بِالْعُصْبَةِ أُولِي الْقُوَّةِ. This wealth, this treasures, was so much that even to carry the keys of the, let's say, the big treasure box of this man, this Qarun, was so heavy that even strong man couldn't carry the key of these boxes. It was so heavy. Quran is trying to help us that we can picture the amount of his wealth, that even its key was so heavy. Imagine old age, obviously, the key and the boxes were so heavy. It depends on the amount and the greatness of the treasure box. إذ قال له قومه لا تفرح. When his qawm, when his nation told Qarun that don't be so happy, this is too much, the way you walk with pride, because he used to take his wealth, his gold, his jewelry with his right camel or horse or whatever. He used to take it and he used to go to the streets of Bani Israel's land and just show off and trying to tell people that how rich he is. So at one time, the nation of Bani Israel came to him. They said, don't be so happy. Inna Allah la yuhibbul farihin. Indeed, Allah does not love those people that are so happy about this world, what they gain, and they try to show off to others. And then, وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. And then Allah is advising us here. Because obviously he's picturing someone who is so attached to this world and who gained a lot of wealth for himself and for his family. And he's showing off and he's walking around with all those wealth and jewelries and treasures, right? But he's criticizing that feeling and that way using and showing off, right? But at the same time, right after this ayah, he said that whatever we get from this world, it's something that you gain it for the hereafter. If you're rich, it should be for your hereafter. At the same time that he's criticizing wealth and a life based on gaining wealth, at the same time he's advising us that, look, you cannot just ignore everything about this world. Being rich itself is not a bad thing. It depends on how you use your money. It depends on how much you're modest when you're wealthy. It depends on how you spend your wealth. For what reason, right? Is it only for luxury? Or when you spend your wealth, there is another purpose for spending that wealth. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Don't forget your share from this world. At the same time, that your first priority is not this world and this dunya. At the same time, you cannot forget your share from this world. Because all is favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. And this is a key for us in this world. وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. Do good to others as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did and is doing good to you. But I would like to emphasize a point here. Allah could say Hasan, right? Hasan means good. But Ahsan means the best, better than good. It's a higher level of doing good. Sometimes you can, let's say you want to do charity, right? Sometimes you can give with, just give your charity to someone who is needy, donate your money to someone, to something, to any cause. But sometimes you can do the same charity with the best way. Like, for example, you don't tell anyone. It's just a secret between you and your Lord. Or the way you give it to others with a smile or with a face that you're not happy about giving it. Or when you want to give something, sometimes you can just give a simple thing to someone or to something, to a cause. But sometimes you can choose the best thing that you like and you love and give it to others. Give you one example. Imagine a woman on his first day of her marriage. So she's a bride and she has her wedding. And as all brides, that they have their beautiful dress that they already chose. Imagine someone right before the day of her marriage and his ceremony, that night someone knocked the door and it's a needy. And he is asking you, give me something. You don't have anything valuable to the needy, to give to the needy. Imagine someone just give the dress that she really loved, right? And that was the lady Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. She gave her dress, her wedding dress, even before wearing it, right? Because she loved the most, maybe, among worldly thing that she had in her house. So we have a lot of examples throughout the life of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Or Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wassalam used to give others, because he's Kareem Ahlul Bayt. He's the generous of Ahlul Bayt. His door was always open for others in Medina. Whoever couldn't find any home, any shelter, people, they don't have shelter, that if you couldn't find any shelter in Medina, you just go directly to the house of Hassan alayhi salatu wassalam. His door was always open for others. And he himself said that the best of charity is when the needy is not asking for the needy to ask you. Before even he or she asks you, you will give. And that's basically the best way to do charity. So here is saying that when you want to do action in this world, try to beautify your actions as much as you can. وَأَحْسِن, the best way that you can. Not even only good, best, the best thing. وَأَحْسِن كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. Because Allah is always, when He gives the best way. In Dua Kumail, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is telling us that His mercy, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is hidden. When He gives, most of the time, servants even don't understand that it's coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But He keeps giving. He doesn't give up, right? وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. And then I will conclude, inshallah, this speech. The story of Qarun is a very interesting story. And they used to go to Qarun and they used to tell him that why you're so prideful, why you have this much takabbur in your life. When you walk, even the way you walk is full of pride. And he used to tell even Musa, when he went, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam went to Qarun, he said, now it's time for you to give zakah, right? To give back to your community. And then he used to say, إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. It was something that I knew. It was my knowledge. I knew the situation of the market. So I could decide what to buy, when to buy, and when to sell it, right? Because I knew the business, the market, I could become rich. أَوَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَهْلَكَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الْقُرُونَ. And then Allah is addressing Qarun, or his nation, Bani Israel, that does he know that how many people, strong people, much powerful than him, in wealth, in mass, in numbers, does he know how many of them were destroyed before him? وَلَا يُسْأَلُ عَنْ ذُنُوبِهِمُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. And in the day of resurrection, Allah even doesn't let those criminals to talk. Means now it's your time. If you want to give, if you want to work, if you want to do something for this cause, now it's your time. And then he used to go out. Qarun used to go out with his wealth, with his jewelry. قال الذين يريدون الحياة الدنيا, those people that they used to love this world, they used to say, يا ليتنا مثل ما أوتي قارون. Oh, I wish we had something like Qarun had, such a good life he has. إنه لذو حظ عظيم. Indeed, he enjoys things that he enjoys very greatly. He will love he loves his life. And then another group in the same nation, Bani Israel, used to say, those people, they had knowledge, true knowledge. He used to tell the other group of people, وَيْلَكُمْ, woe to you, how you wish his life. ثواب الله خير لمن آمن وعمل صالحا ولا يلقاها إلا الصابرون. How you wish his life while you know that the best of thing in this life is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and good deeds. ولا يلقاها إلا الصابرون. This level of understanding will come only with patience. If someone is patient, will achieve to this level that when they look at others' life, others' wealth, they don't never wish. Because wealth is not something that I can wish or I have to wish. My first priority, my desires should be something else, something greater. Maulana Balkhi Rumi, he in one poetry, he says that if you look for anything, you're that thing. If you look for bread, you're bread. If you look for car, your car. It means your first priority, your desires will identify you, right? And the definition of a person is his or her desires. And then at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish Qarun, and he made the earth swallow the Qarun and his wealth all together to the earth. After that, when night passed and morning came, the same people that they used to wish, they look at his house. He said, wow, Alhamdulillah, we were not Qarun, and Allah knew what to give and what to not give, right? تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. If you want to achieve the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would place the hereafter only for those people that they didn't seek pride and being at the top of everything in this world. You know, some people, they always want to be exalted, want to be praised, right? So akhirah and the hereafter is not for those people. Wala fasada, and those people that they seek corruption and they want to go around on everything to find any way to misguide others, to do wrongdoing and make excuse. Darul akhirah, the akhirah and the hereafter is not for them. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, and good ending is for those people that are pious. That was basically the very actually talk about the nature of this world. I really recommend you again to go over these ayats of Quran about this world, the dunya, especially Surah Al-Qasas from ayah 76 to the end. There are a lot of lessons on these ayats that we can, inshallah, take to build our life in a way that we can reach the joy that it's good for us. It's not a joy that make us forget the benefit and the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end, I will finish with this ayah, which is dua when we recite in our qunut. It's very beautiful dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً. Oh my Lord, bestow me the best of thing in this world. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. And also in the hereafter, bestow me the best of thing. وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And save me from the fire of nar, the fire of Jahannam, right? We always need to ask this kind of dua that the Quran is teaching us, and at the same time it's a dua. At the same time, it's a teaching, great teaching for us that we can build our life based on these dua. Again, I congratulate you on the birth anniversary, joyful birth anniversary of Imam al-Husain alayhi salatu wassalam, our beloved Imam al-Husain, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam, and Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam. It's the month of Sha'ban. We're almost in the month of Ramadan, and the saying and the narrations and the dua of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, could and should help us that we can go through this difficult time in a best way, and inshallah when we're out, we're a better people, we're a better nation with a lot of lessons that we took from these times. Remember the mu'mineen and mu'minat, believers, all human at the end, in your du'as, different countries, different cities, different states that we're living in, they face a very severe challenge. Remember them, and at the top of our dua should be the reappearance of Imam al-Hujjah Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farjuhu Sharif. Imam Husain alayhi salatu wasalam said, if I experience the time of Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farjuhu Sharif, I will serve all my life for his cause. So please remember us, all of us, that we can be a true follower for Imam al-Hujjah Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farjuhu Sharif bin Nabi wa alih. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى